Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Fabulous After 50. Sorry for the period of silence. All focus has been on my wealth and health online business. But here we are, back again with the sort of topic we really need, moving from worry to well-being.
Mm.
And when you stop and think about it, how different would life be without worry,
Mm.
right?
Right.
So, to guide us through the four pillars of well-being, I'm delighted to welcome Paula Madden, internationally recognized empowerment and well-being coach and mentor. And I actually came across Paula when I was hosting for the International Association of Professional Coaches and Mentors. So, I'm really happy that that role enables me to catch fabulous people and bring them here to benefit all of you. So, Paula, can I invite you to first share maybe a little bit about who you are and why it is that you do what you do?
Yes, lovely. Thank you. And thanks for this lovely opportunity to share with other people who can benefit from it. Yes, as you say, I'm Paula Madden. I'm from the UK, Liverpool. And the reason I love the four pillars so much is because I personally burnt out as a teacher. I'd been a teacher for nearly 20 years. And I became very ill. I was diagnosed with ME, fibromyalgia. And I lost my job, I lost my career. I was in a wheelchair for a while. I couldn't even
Gosh.
wash my own hair. And it was a coaching program that helped me to heal, focusing on kind of retraining the brain, the amygdala, and the fight or flight response. And then eventually my body started to heal because I'd completely burnt out of cortisol. There was none left. I had tests done. I wasn't producing any. You start
Goodness.
producing it about 4 o'clock in the morning to get you ready to wake up, and I wasn't. I wasn't
Oh.
producing it anymore. So
It's
I
like
think,
your body goes into shutdown then in a way, is it? It
yes,
just
that's
doesn't
what
operate.
happened because I wasn't listening to my body. I
Mm.
worried myself sick. If you hear the
Yeah,
saying, I did.
yeah,
That literally
yeah.
happened. I worried myself sick because I put myself under so much pressure at my job. And then I found a coaching program that helped me to heal. And I also do Reiki and other energy medicine, EFT and quantum holographic echo healing. And I just felt a calling that I wanted to help
Mm,
other women,
mm.
because it was linked to the menopause as well, I think.
Ah, now that's an interesting
Yeah,
one.
I do. Looking back now, because I was about 47 when it happened.
Right.
Looking back, I think it was linked to the changes that go on in the menopause.
Right, because anxiety, I wasn't even aware of that, but I started to get incredibly anxious as well. And so much so that I actually went and had my heart checked. No,
Yes,
saying to the doctor, I don't know what it's like.
yeah,
I'm about to
yeah.
have a heart attack or something. I don't know what's going on. So she actually sent me to the health clinic. And then I actually saw a specialist in menopause saying,
Mm.
well, actually, that is one of I'm not quite sure what it is, but it's all these hormonal
And
disbalances,
changes.
right?
Yeah, and that was because I actually did something similar with my heart.
Yeah, yeah,
Believe it or not, I went to the doctor and I said my heart's pounding at my chest all the time. And it was just the pure anxiety and pushing and pushing and pushing. So
right.
I trained myself to be a coach, a life coach, and I've done other trainings as well since then. I'm very passionate about supporting women so that they get to the point I got to.
Right. It's wonderful on two levels. One is that you took something horrible which had happened to you and
Yeah,
debilitated you, and you wanted to help women not have it again. And on the other hand, then you made a profound career switch. Okay, it was obligatory because of,
yeah,
being burnt out and stopped from work, but you still recreated something more or less in your 50s or just before your 50s, right?
yes, yes. It was in my 50s. It was.
Right.
I was fit. Well, I was 53 when I started this.
See, so that's also a proof that, it's never too late to radically change, to
Um,
reschool, to learn, etc.
yeah,
Right. Okay. So yeah, well, that was a good reason to start. And I think it's so lovely that at this age in particular as well, we want to take what we've learned through hardship and actually
yes,
contribute to giving it to others.
yes,
Right.
yeah. I think it's good that people are so much more open to this kind of stuff now, aren't they? People are so much
Right.
more aware
Yeah,
of how
exactly. And before we
important
were all
it is.
woohoo and all of that, just get on with it or whatsoever.
Yeah,
But now, like you're a living example of that. What does happen if you decide to just push on and
yes,
get on with it? Then at
yeah.
some point, your body makes the decisions
Well,
for
that's it.
you.
That's exactly. It's like that book that's called "The Body Keeps the Score." Eventually, the body
Right.
it
And
just
it
stops.
does. I think we all realize that, however
Yeah,
big or small, it does. So, yeah,
yeah,
it's good to face them. So, okay, we're talking about four pillars. We're talking about moving from worry right, to
Yes.
well-being. What can we think of here? I mean, what exactly do you do then with people?
Well, the four pillars are the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being. So
Right.
they're basically like the four legs of a table. And if you think about the four legs of a table, if you're not looking after one of them, if one of them's all crooked, the table won't be balanced, it might fall over.
Yeah.
So if we're not looking after ourselves physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, then we can become out of kilter. And it's like a snowball, really, because big things sort of creep up on you, with the physical stuff, you might start to notice that you're getting more colds, catching more bugs, not sleeping as well, and then with the emotional, you might notice that you're finding it harder to deal with problems or becoming a
Right.
bit more snappy with people. And then with the mental, just becoming, ruminating and overthinking, and then spiritually feeling disconnected from other people. So it's about, first of all, the awareness
Right.
of noting and knowing it's okay, because it happens to nearly everybody.
Yeah.
All have those ups and downs in life. It's just my first thing of all, what I always say to everyone is just to slow down.
Right, to slow
Just
down and
start to
actually
slow
make
down.
room to actually ask yourself those questions. Because I guess the first one, the physical one, we have a tendency to perhaps listen to that one first, I guess, right?
Yes. Yeah, because it's more noticeable if you're
It's
tired
more
all the time.
noticeable, right? But I like the fact that, I mean, the emotional, okay, right, where especially women, and it's mostly women listening to this, we are very emotionally driven. So it
Yes.
is also good, I guess, to label what the emotions are, right? Because it's not always
Yeah.
the first one.
Yeah, like I think I don't know if you remember from the talk with the IAPC and Emma was saying about name it to tame it.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
exactly right. And I think
yeah.
that's a good exercise in itself. And actually, after that talk you gave, I realized I was angry about something. And I really stopped and took time to think, is this really anger that we're talking about? Are you just calling it anger because it's easier to cope with the idea of anger than a
Mm,
pain or something like that?
yeah.
You're detaching in that way a bit, aren't you?
Yes, immediately you're taking a step back from the emotion and saying,
Yeah,
okay, I'm feeling like this. Is it something that I need to maybe set a boundary with somebody else? Is it something in me that I need to look
right,
at that's being triggered? But just by doing that, even then you're slowing down.
right.
You're taking the
Okay, so
sting
how do you
away.
get people to do that? So you're feeling an emotion. And then what? You need to stop and ask yourself, okay, what is this emotion? Give it
Yeah,
a name.
yeah, name it, because sometimes lots of people I hear say, "Oh, I just feel awful, I just feel terrible." But just identifying what it is. Is it anger? Is it fear? Is it frustration? Is it loneliness? Maybe
Mm,
feeling anxiety? And just by moving away from it a little bit and naming it, you can start to take the thing out of it, as I said, and then say, Where's it coming from? Is it something that's happened to me? Have I been triggered by something?
right.
Something being triggered in me that I need to maybe take care of myself a little bit more in a certain way, or do I need to speak to somebody else about their behavior? You
Because
know,
it's about taking control in a way, isn't it? Because when we feel these emotions, we're so in them, right? So we're not naming them, but they're ruling us basically.
yeah, yeah. It's like emotions are always flowing, and they're literally energy and motion moving through the body, and they
Mm,
can become stuck when we don't identify them and deal with them, and that's when they start to cause problems because they kind of become stuck in your energy and in your body, and you can start to feel more and more worked up
right.
because you don't really understand what's going on.
Okay, so the physical one is obviously your body, the emotional one is your emotions, the mental one then is all the noise up in your head.
Yes, yeah, all the thinking, if you are starting to, if it's becoming unbalanced, that pill, you might notice that you're constantly worrying or
Mm,
criticizing yourself, criticizing other people around you, and, thinking, oh, what did I do? That thing I did 5 years ago,
mm.
you
Yeah,
know,
we bring back the whole
yeah,
story, right?
yeah,
We add to
yeah,
it and even
yeah,
more and la la.
yeah. So just taking some time out, and I have a little thing that I call pop. When you notice it happening, just say pop to yourself or click your finger.
Oh,
If it's a a repeated thought, you can do it for a feeling as well. But when the
that's all
thought,
you do. You say pop.
and then you just pause for a second
Mm.
and
So you're
take a
like
breath.
breaking that state, right?
Yeah, take a breath and just put your hands on your heart if you can,
Because
and
I
just
think that's something
observe it.
we're so good at. And obviously, the older
Yeah,
we are, we talk about a 50 plus
oh
audience,
yeah,
the more story we've got. And we do. I mean, I hear myself do that all the time. And I'm bringing up stuff from ages ago, and the color's getting brighter, and I'm getting more and more angry about it. I keep saying, okay, stop that, ridiculous, move on, do something else. But then it's like this little nagging voice, which is still, it's like a circle.
Well, it's like a groove in your brain.
Right,
You're just repeating a pattern and making the groove in your brain, but you can move it to something positive. So you pop, and then you observe it with a nice breath. Just let it float away like a cloud, and then just
right,
feel it and reframe. Maybe you're saying to yourself at the end of the day, I've hardly done anything today, I've got anything to, and just pop, just click your finger, breathe, and just say I've done, because you always have.
of course you have.
Always.
You've got up, right? You've breathed,
Yeah,
and you've probably
exactly.
eaten something and
Yeah,
whatever.
so
Yeah,
there's always something to change
yeah,
it to something positive. The
yeah,
thoughts can become habitual. So if you think about all the four pillars together, if you're tired, you're feeling emotional, then you will be more thinking negative. So
yeah,
that's how
yeah,
they all
yeah,
work together.
yeah. And then
You
you've got
know,
tightness in your
uh,
shoulders, and
yeah,
and
yeah.
so the spiritual one, so it's more the question of how connected we feel to something bigger than us.
Yes, but also, I mean, for some people, they don't believe in anything bigger. So I'd say, we're all breathing air on the planet. The trees breathe air, breathe out
Mm,
oxygen for us. So we are all connected, even if you don't think there's something more powerful. We are connected. So just knowing that, I think, helps you to feel more connected to other people, that you're not alone.
right. Yeah.
That's what the spiritual part's all about. If you do have that bigger connection and there's something more powerful, then that's amazing. But if you don't, just by
Mm.
knowing, recognizing that, the plants are growing and they feed us, so how can we not be connected to them?
Yeah, and that
You know?
helps going into nature as well, doesn't it? I always
Yeah,
find just walking, and I mean, even for people who live in town, I'm in town here, but there's a park, there are trees, there are birds in there.
yeah,
It's just that feeling also that that's something bigger than us, right? Mother Nature's
yes,
been there
yes,
since, well,
exactly.
forever.
Yeah, yeah. And just the fact that, I mean, it's been proven scientifically how much going into nature helps us.
Mm,
And even if you just stand up once an hour, every hour, set a little timer on your phone and just stand up and look at something, because you're looking at it from a different perspective. So you're
right.
seeing it in a different way, and you can look out the window maybe and see a tree.
Yeah,
You've got a beautiful plant,
yeah.
in your background there. Just those,
Yeah, no, the miracle of just a little flower. It can be a weedy
yeah,
flower, but just those
exactly.
colors, that shape.
Light,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm so glad we're having this conversation because actually I've been thinking about worry a lot lately and just
Mm,
thinking, how debilitating worry is and how it holds us back and how it brings us down and how it makes us feel incompetent or scared. And I mean, at 50 plus, it's really time for us to start, shining our light in whatever it
yeah,
means. And I mean, what's the most terrible thing? What should we be worrying about? I mean, we worry for the most silly things.
yeah. Because worry's always about the future normally, or the past.
Yeah,
Worrying about something that's happened, or worrying about something that might happen. So
yeah,
you're missing the joy of the day, of the
right.
present moment, and there's nothing you can do about it. Or if there is, if you have made a mistake or you need to say
Yeah,
sorry to somebody, you can do it.
that's
Or
right. But
probably to
without beating
yourself.
yourself up, right? We're all human.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. That's how
and
we
we
learn.
all,
We won't learn unless we make mistakes.
exactly,
Grow
exactly.
as people.
So, okay, so we're talking about moving from worry to well-being. So you've talked about the four pillars that we need to be aware of, right, and tap into. So what tips would you have for the audience of how to go about doing that? Is it something that we need to do like on a regular basis for it to become more a habit, or is it something that you just do when you're experiencing the worry?
I think it's better to try and do it on a regular basis, because you'll be more resilient. They're like muscles, really. And
Mm,
mindfulness is one of the things that I absolutely love to help with all four of the pillars. And that's the
right.
slowing down and just being aware of your breath. You know, even just taking a mindful moment once an hour as well, and just breathing deeply.
Yeah.
Because when we're breathing shallowly, our body automatically thinks that we're in danger.
Yes.
And that will make us worry more, because when the fight or flight response is being triggered, the front of your brain doesn't work anymore, so you can't be logical.
It's
so you
incredible that, right?
really,
And I guess we were programmed for evolution, right?
yes,
So back
exactly.
in what did it mean when you were in danger? You needed to run. So the
Yeah,
blood needed to go from your head to your vital organs so that
yeah,
you could run away
yeah,
as fast as you can. But somehow, we've changed so much. It doesn't take, on a big picture, we can't change that fast. So we have the same response to
yeah,
worries about, oh, is he going to think I'm good looking? Or,
yeah, yeah,
are they going to like my dinner tonight? Or what am I doing with my life? Or, just they can be the
yeah.
most silly little
Yeah,
things,
just
but we do get that huge response.
yes, that's exactly what happens, even though it's not life-threatening, our
No.
brain thinks it is because of the way our bodies responded to it. So
So, yeah.
the first thing, as I've said, is slow down, breathe, and try to make sure that whatever you do, and you're doing that 100%, rather than being distracted and thinking I need to do something else over there, because all of these things will help to build the muscles of resilience and the 4 pillars of well-being. And also, because I do EFT, if you do feel yourself worrying, just tapping here on the
Do you want
collarbone
to tell
can
exactly,
help.
for those who don't know, explain what
Yeah.
EFT is?
EFT is emotional freedom technique, or it's called tapping. Most people call it tapping, and it's used to tap around on different meridians, mainly on your face, and it just helps to release energy and get the emotions moving in your body. Because if you remember when I shared before about the emotions getting stuck, and that can make you feel that you're like wired, because the emotions got stuck in your body. So just by tapping here on your collarbones and breathing,
It releases it, right?
you can just say all is well.
All as well. Yeah,
All
you're
is well.
reassuring yourself and letting your
Yeah,
body let go of whatever, because that is worry, right? We cramp. It's the
yes,
opposite
yeah,
of flowing and being at our ease. We cramp.
yeah. And using the pop technique.
Yeah, I like that. You know what? Because it's great to think about the tools that we have, the meditations and all of that. But when we're in the throe of worry, it's easy to talk about it when we're okay and we're open and
Yeah.
listening. But when we're really in that worry mode or panic mode or anxiety or whatsoever, we don't have that reflex. We
No,
just stay
well, as you
stuck.
said, the blood's gone from the part of the brain
Yeah.
that thinks the
So
logical.
that pop, whether I've just realized I've clicked
Yeah,
my fingers. So, okay, so
yeah,
that's coming naturally to me. But whatever it is that you do to just break that
mm,
mess, and then
yeah,
you can go and do the rest.
yes, and just maybe bringing in, if you've got time in the morning, just a little breathing technique, even if it's only 2 minutes of just breathing in and out, just to get yourself prepared for the day, so you're calmer as the day begins.
So it's consciously breathing, right? So it's really just thinking about the breath. Do you have to do any particular
There
amount
was
of time or?
there's a nice technique called 3-7-8 breathing. I don't know whether you
Oh
ever
yeah,
heard of that.
yeah. I know
But it's
four,
called
seven,
seven
eight,
eight.
but
Sorry.
yeah,
Yeah, there's lots of different varieties where you breathe in for 4, and
hold
then
for
hold for
7.
7, and then breathe out through your mouth. Because when you breathe out longer, your body automatically thinks you're safe,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
is
because of
why
course, when we are running away from
you're
a
panting,
tiger,
aren't you,
we're,
normally.
we're breathing very high, right? So it's,
Yeah,
it's it's saying it's okay. There's no tiger around.
yeah.
Isn't it
So
incredible? All these old
just little tips,
reflexes that we
aren't
have.
there? Yeah, definitely. They're just unconscious, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
You just go into them automatically. But if you're worried, always worried, you'll be constantly producing cortisol and adrenaline, so your body will become more and more, because that just burns out in the end.
We
So
shared
just
such
keep
valuable
little,
stuff. So, okay, so there's the breathing, well, the pop, first of all, the being aware and labeling these different emotions. There's, so being aware of all four. So it was emotional, spiritual, mental, and physical.
yeah,
Then you've got the breathing, the starting the day already by setting yourself up by some deep breathing. So maybe 4, 7, or 8. Now you
yeah.
had 3 practical tips as well to share.
Yes, it was the breathing is one of them. And just maybe trying to do some stretching as well in the morning. And my main tip would be to try and set an hourly alarm, so that you just stop your day just for a minute, and just breathe again. Just get back into your
And get back
breathing,
into that breathe.
and then you can ask yourself how you're feeling. How I'm
Yeah,
feeling right now. Do I need to, because sometimes when we're working really hard, we don't drink water, or we might work too late, spend too long on the computer. So just
yeah,
by stopping every hour and standing up, and just go.
yeah.
If you can't go out, look out of the window.
And it's moving around, I guess, as well,
Yes,
right? I mean,
moving
also for our
around.
body, for that accumulated
Yeah,
tension.
yeah, doing some yoga or just some nice stretching and
You'd
go for a
mentioned
walk.
stand tall.
Yeah, stand tall is the like the super person pose because
Oh, the Superwoman. Okay, so hands on hip. I'm going to explain to the audience what the stand tall
that's
is.
been some scientific evidence on that as well, that just by standing tall and just looking up at your head up, you're automatically empowering yourself because you've
Yeah,
got your shoulders back, you're not kind of hunched over thinking, I don't want anyone to look at me.
yeah,
You're standing tall with your shoulders and just maybe saying some affirmations, I'm good enough, I'm a hard worker, I do things well,
yeah.
an empowered woman and
Yeah, because
things
we even
like
say that
that.
looking up, right? We have the expression, oh, things are not so bad, look up. But it
Yes,
really is proven, isn't it? That
yes,
just the fact of looking up, it must be an NLP thing or something, I'm not sure, that,
yeah,
that
all
it
those
does.
little sayings have got, you realise how important they are, don't you? They've been
And then
there
they
for
came
a
from
long
somewhere.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And
So,
so the Superwoman pose is indeed, right? It's your feet a little bit broader than most women would
yeah,
have, right?
yeah. Just your feet a little bit apart with your hands on your hips, standing
Hands on
really
your
tall
hips.
and just putting your shoulders back. And it's good for your
Yeah,
posture anyway and your
it is as
breathing,
well. It is.
because you're going to be able to breathe better if you're standing taller rather than
Yeah,
hunched over,
yeah.
especially
And it
most
is like,
people
okay,
that
bring
want.
it on, I can cope, I can do
Yes, I
it,
mean, just by doing it now, I can feel it.
Yes, me too,
Right,
me
so
too.
you can even do it sitting at your desk.
Yeah, yeah,
So that is definitely one of the mindful moments every hour if you can, and just bringing those other things in. And just when you, even in the morning when you're doing if you can do your breathing, just do a little bit of tapping as well. Just
yeah.
to the
We should
activity.
maybe go into that at some point as well. But maybe, I mean, we do have another, what, 5, 10 minutes. You could maybe just gently explain. So it's
I'll
it's
just
tapping on.
explain about, because you can use the tapping point with breathing as well. So if you, we start on the top of the head. So if you just breathe in for 5 and then breathe out for 7. This is a really quick way to just bring your stress levels down and then go on to the next point. And if you're really stressed, you can just touch. You don't even need to tap.
Oh, that's on the
So,
inside of your eyebrow,
yeah,
right?
just there. So you can just touch it if you want, if you're feeling really stressed.
Or is that maybe why we go like that when we're worried or
But
something?
yes, because it's that
Yeah.
part of the brain as well that we were talking
Right.
about. So if you just do the same thing, breathing in for 5,
And do you need to say anything whatsoever, or you
no,
just
you don't
hold?
need to say anything, just breathe, because you're trying to shut things down, the worry and everything, and then just go to the side of the eye and use both sides as well. That's really good. But you can either tap or just hold.
Isn't this handy? Because you can do it anywhere, right?
Yes. And then under the eye as well. And on the nose. Just breathing out nice and slow. And then on the chin. Yeah, and then just back to the collarbone. And you can do it
Collarbone.
under your arm as well. And what's lovely about tapping, if it's not possible to do it like that, you can do it on your fit on your fingers, just making sure you touch the
Together.
like this, say with one hand
Oh,
touch
yeah.
the other,
Okay.
and just do the same thing with the breathing.
I mean, it's all about empowering ourselves, isn't it? Because
Yeah,
worry is something which, I mean, it's so true what you said. We don't worry in the present. We worry about the past and things we wish we'd done or hadn't done or said or hadn't
yeah.
said. And we worry about the future.
Mm,
What if this? And what if I don't have any money? And what if nobody loves me? And what if this? And what
yeah.
if that? We
Things
don't
will
know
be
it will
bad,
happen,
isn't it?
right? The
It's
past
all
we can't
true.
change anyway, right? It's happened.
Yes,
So
yeah,
we can change what we feel about it, but we can't
yeah,
change what happened. What happened, happened.
um,
But the
yeah, no,
future, it's often it doesn't even happen. We cope with problems when they arise.
yeah,
It's already bad enough with what
well,
does turn up in life without
yeah.
inventing all this possible.
And then it's making a loop as well then in your brain that you sort of get stuck in
Right,
with those
right.
negative thoughts and negative thinking, and it's all the energy you spend in worrying about something that might
I
never happen
know. I
when it
know. And
could be
imagine what else we could
something
do with
else.
that energy.
Yeah,
Imagine the fun and the adventures and the
yeah,
discovering
yeah,
new
of
things
course.
if we
Just so
moved
many
away
things
from
to
this
do.
worry. Right, Paula, to finish off, so you do this professionally, right?
Yes, yes, I do.
So how does that work? People come to you, is it something that they come to you for one issue, or they just sort of say, for example, I'm in menopause and I'm anxious the whole time? What sort of people come to you?
Women, I only work with women because it's women who I identify with more. They come when they're feeling as if they've lost themselves and feeling quite burnt out with life and just lost their sparkle.
Right.
You know, like they're not really living a life that's lighting them up anymore.
Right.
Often they don't know which way they need to go in.
Right.
Together we figure that out together, and I support them to come back to the person that they're supposed to be and live a
Right.
life that really does make them feel great and happy.
Yeah. And we owe it to ourselves to do that, don't we?
Yes, yes,
You know, I think I've always worried about, the one thing that I would not want is to be on my deathbed thinking, if only I dared to live
yes.
more.
Yeah, yeah. It's like Wayne Dwyer said, don't die with the music still inside you.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
powerful, right?
yeah, because we've
And
all
and
got,
we owe
yeah,
it to ourselves, to life, to everybody. And we
of
always,
course.
as women, we tend to hold ourselves so small, like, oh, nobody needs to hear me, etc. But that's
Yeah,
not true. I believe we
yeah,
all have a mission.
yeah, I
We
do
all
too.
have,
Yeah,
we
and
don't,
other people won't get the benefit of our gifts.
yeah,
You know, people will
yeah,
miss out if we don't shine our lights the way we're supposed to,
yeah, I
you know,
agree. So
plus
let's stop that
ourselves.
worrying, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right, for those wanting to get in touch with you, how do they get hold of you? I will put, of course, all your details in our show notes, but for those who are, for example, listening in the train or as they're driving,
It's Paula Madden coaching. I have recently changed. I was called Evolving Soul Coaching, but everything I do now is under Paula Madden coaching.
right, right. And I believe you even had a freebie for us.
Yes, I've got a 21-day Wonder of Wellbeing
Mm.
freebie, which has got all different activities for the 4 pillars of wellbeing.
Oh, lovely. Oh,
And you'll also receive some breathing techniques as well.
and this is something so that I shall put a link and they just click on the link
Yeah,
and
they can just click on the link.
now that's something nice to look forward to and to set us up before Christmas, right? So that we can be our
Yes.
beautiful, relaxed
Yeah.
selves.
Yeah.
And any last words you'd like to say, Paula?
Just to remember that when you're looking after yourself, you're saying you're important, and you are. So just by taking time out for you, you're saying to yourself, I'm important, and that will automatically stop you from worrying. It'll bring your self-esteem up, you know, and you are
Beautiful.
important, everyone who's listening here. Of
We
the
are. Shame
person.
we need to remind ourselves all the time, but we
Yeah.
are. Every single one of us has a light to shine, and we deserve to shine it. Paula, thank you very, very
It's been
much.
lovely to talk to you again.
Lovely talking to you again. I hope it's not the last one. Maybe you want to come back and show us how we do EFT
Oh,
properly.
yes, I'd love
And
to.
for the rest of you listening out there, yeah, time to stop worrying and to do more
Yeah.
shining. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want to find out more about it, then I suggest you contact Paula. I'm wishing you all a wonderful week ahead. All the best. Bye
Thank you.
now.
Bye.